So I want to bring you to the place where my parents got married 40 years ago to have a very real conversation with you about committed relationships. Now, maybe you're stuck in a casual fling with a guy, or every guy you're meeting is only interested in doing whatever he can to avoid this place. I want to talk to you about using a very powerful blueprint that I've developed to transition your life from a very lonely, casual relationship situation to a heartwarming, passionate, and loving relationship. So you need to listen very, very carefully because this will be like nothing you've ever heard before. And let me tell you, a lot has changed since back when my parents got married here. And if you don't know how to navigate today's dating scene, then there ain't no way you're seeing inside this building except for maybe being a bridesmaid. Now, I know that might sound a little bit overly dramatic, but stick with me here because I have a really good track record with this stuff, and I don't like drama, and quite frankly, I think I deserve this one. My name's Adam LaDolce, and I help women take back the power in their love lives to find the exclusive relationship with the right guy for them. And over the past 7 years, I've been responsible for thousands of relationships and marriages all over the world. And here's the problem. Most women think that men don't want commitment anymore, and that the dating apps and Tinder and the 21st century hookup scene has made it impossible to find love. But that's just not true. It's not that men don't want commitment anymore, it's just that they don't have the same social pressure that they used to have to get married. So men will wait until they find the right woman at the right time before they really settle down. And a lot of women in the 21st century have no idea how to position themselves as girlfriend or wife material. They do what every other woman is doing, which is to go, give in, start casually dating a guy, and hoping and praying that he'll suddenly realize that he wants to be with you forever. But I'm here to tell you that you should never hope for anything. I don't believe in hope dating. I believe in taking smart, actionable steps to creating that love life that you absolutely love. There's a huge opportunity out there because most women, they don't take action in their love life. They sit back and they hope and they pray that guy just changes his mind, or if they're not dating a guy right now, they just hope and pray that a guy will come out of nowhere and just knock them off their feet, and before you know it, in a couple years, they'll end up in this place right here. And then if it doesn't happen, the worst thing that happens is they internalize it and they think that there might be something just wrong with them. Here's the thing I need to tell you right now, and I need you to understand. It's not necessarily a problem with you as a person. It's a problem with how you're presenting yourself. Either you're the 2 a.m. booty call or you're wifey material. And there are actually specific things that you can do, and they're very, very powerful steps that you can take that I'm going to outline in this video that are going to allow you to position yourself as that wifey material, that girlfriend material. It's going to make a man chase you for commitment, and not because society tells him that he needs to or that he feels pressured to, but instead because he deeply wants commitment from you and only you. In this video right now, I'm giving you the power to reclaim your love life and find the commitment that you truly deserve. Now, there are lots of dating coaches out there that are trying to make you manipulate men into getting what it is that you want. Well, if you know me, that's not my style. I mean, the reason why top media outlets like Cosmo, Glamour, Women's Health, all of them reach out to me to be their source for dating, and the reason why my YouTube channel has over 10 million views and so many women, thousands of women like yourself, have felt more confident in their love life is because I teach you real techniques, real strategies to find the love of your life. I don't teach you how to manipulate men. I don't teach you how to play mind games or any of that bullshit. I help women like yourself lead with honesty and being honest with yourself about the type of relationship that really makes you happy, and also honest with him about what it is that you need from a relationship. And in this video right now, out of the 4 videos that I'm gonna be emailing you, and if you're not watching this video on casualcommitted.com, you gotta go over there right now to get your free download that's beneath this video. In these videos, you're gonna learn how to be able to reclaim that power in your dating life and get men to chase you for commitment without using any ultimatums or playing any games to get it. All you gotta do is follow these 5 components of the blueprint to get what it is that you want. But if you're not one of the thousands of Sexy Confidence fans or haven't been to one of my hundreds of college lectures all across the country on dating and relationships, then you're probably wondering, who the hell is this dude sharing the deepest secrets of the male mind? Now, a lot of people don't really know this, but I actually haven't been a dating coach forever. I actually used to be a management consultant working in a suit every single day, and I really struggled. I struggled in a lot of areas of my life, but I mostly struggled with dating. I quite honestly, I didn't know how to get a girl. And I just became really fed up. You know, it was my early 20s, I just got out of college, and I was lonely, and I just wanted to find an answer to my problems. So probably like what you're doing right now, I filled my mind with knowledge. I started to read everything that was out there. I started to take every single course I could possibly take. And most importantly, I took action, just like what you're gonna be doing throughout this course, is taking serious, tangible action in your dating life. Now, as a guy, one of the best ways to take action is to really get out there and talk to a lot of women. And over the years, I approached actually over 1,000 women as I became a dating coach for men. I, of course, had to do that quite a bit. And I actually went on over 100 dates. And I have a confession to make. I used to love casual relationships. There, I said it on camera. And I'm a guy, what can I say? It was awesome. I was in my early 20s, and that's exactly what I wanted to focus on. Back then, I was what I call a freedom fighter, and I'm gonna be explaining more of what that means in the next video of this series. I'd go out, meet a new girl, we'd have fun, we'd have a great time, then the next morning I wake up with my other single buddies and go to brunch and we talk about it, right? It was fun, hell yeah it was fun, but at the same time, it was also very, very empty. You see, I used to coach men on how to go out and meet women like you. And I got a ton of media very, very quickly. CNN did a feature on me. I became an MTV maid coach, helping a shy guy get a girlfriend in under 3 weeks. Shit just blew up. I mean, I got a ton of media, a ton of people were focusing on my stuff because honestly, it was working for a lot of men. But it wasn't really until I found a great committed relationship that I really understood what this whole journey has been all about. You know, I decided that I wanted to stop working with men and start working with women like you who really want to find love. And there's nothing wrong with men. There are plenty of great men out there who are looking for a relationship and are very legit and very authentic in their dating life. But I decided that I had so much knowledge from my experience of working with men that I could really share it with women like yourself and get even more results. Now, some guys thought that I was a complete traitor. I mean, they hated on me, and I can't tell you how much hate I was getting. Whereas other guys, they really applauded my success and be able to close that gap between what men think and women think with dating. But honestly, at the end of the day, I didn't give a crap about any of that. I didn't give a shit. What I cared most about is helping you, because if I'm helping you women, then I'm inadvertently helping men as well. You know what? Everyone wins. And that's exactly why I created Casual to Committed, is to be able to really teach you a lot of things I've learned over the past 10 years of not only my own experiences, of course, going from casual to committed, but also working with so many men in the past, and also, of course, working with women like yourself and finding love. And that's why my advice has been so successful for so many millions of women in every single country on the planet. And most women don't know this, but you women, you have a ton of power, whether you know it or not. You have the power to find the relationship that you want. You just need to learn how to leverage that power to getting what it is that you want. And I don't mean luring in men with sex and trying to manipulate them or any of that crap. I mean the power to set your own standards of what it is you really want in a relationship and holding strong to those standards until someone actually comes along and meets those standards. Because I'll tell you what, back even when I was casually dating in my early 20s, I know for a fact that if even one woman had used that blueprint back then that I'm gonna be sharing with you in this video, then I'd probably be married by now and having children by now. So this is very, very powerful stuff. And I gotta tell you, with great power comes very great responsibility. But so long as you follow the elements of this blueprint, you'll be on your way to snagging that incredible committed relationship that you really want. And not with just any guy, but with the type of guy that you really want. And yes, even in the 21st century. Now I get it, times have changed, and you might think that, you know, not many guys actually want a relationship, or that no guy wants a relationship with you. But I'm here to tell you that it is possible. You just have to change your behavior around men and understand the male mind and stay disciplined to this powerful system that I'm gonna be sharing with you over this series. And I absolutely guarantee you will eventually find that relationship that you deserve. Now, every single day, I wake up to hundreds of notes, emails, Facebook messages, comments from women like you who have taken that action in their love life based on my principles and gotten exactly what it is that they want. You just need to take that action. And that's why I created this video for this very short period of time, is to say thank you. Thank you to this incredible community. I mean, this community never ceases to amaze me. When they focus on something, they get exactly what it is they want. And you know, over the past few years, this community has grown to be the size of Madison Square Garden, filled 10 times over again. Imagine a stadium of women cheering you on, helping you every step of the way to finding what it is that you want. And that's what Sexy Confidence is all about. That's what this community is all about. So now is the time for you to take that action. Let's jump in the studio. I'm gonna be teaching you this very powerful system to reclaiming your love life and finding that commitment you truly want. Let's go in the studio. All right, so now that we're in the studio, let's just jump right into it. As I said, POWER is an acronym. The P in POWER is for protect your heart from the wrong guys. I mean, have you ever met a guy that you knew was just totally bad for you right from the start, and you just thought, well, you know what? I'm just gonna have a little bit of fun. But as you probably realize, that fun turns very unfun. As part of the Casual to Committed program, you have to realize that you have a responsibility to protect your own heart. No one else is gonna do it. No one else is gonna protect your heart except for yourself. I remember I had a client, her name was Lisa. I think she was around 36, 37, successful, attractive. She was looking for love, and she was following my program, and things were going really, really well for her. I mean, she had guys chasing her. She had a lot of options. She was really into a couple guys. But then there was this one guy, and she met him at work, of course. He was handsome, he was charming, and he was also her boss, and he was married. And she started, of course, being flirtatious with him. Before you know it, that turned into a little bit more. And she thought, you know what? I'm just gonna have some fun with it. I'm just gonna go with it. And of course, I'll keep meeting other guys. Well, as you might imagine, where of course this all went, it ended up being an absolute whirlwind in her life. When of course she did end up falling in love with him, his wife found out, told his boss's boss about the affair. He got fired. She was that woman at work. He never talked to her ever again. And it was a complete disaster, of course, as you might imagine. And the whole reason is because she wasn't following the P in protect. She wasn't protecting her own heart. She wasn't being disciplined enough to just stick to the system. So for you, when you meet a guy, you always have to assume that your feelings will grow. Don't be naive. Don't be that naive person thinking that, you know what, I'll just have a little bit of fun, see where it goes, I won't get hurt. Don't be naive. You got to protect your own heart. Even if you know for a fact that it's not going to work out, you got to be protecting your heart. You know, long distance relationships, if a guy says he doesn't want a relationship, if it's clearly emotionally unavailable, of course, if the dude's married, you got to be protecting your heart. And the easiest way to being disciplined about protecting your heart, being disciplined about staying away from the wrong guys, is by removing temptation. Removing that temptation, right? Of course, if this woman, who is with her boss is starting to grow feelings for him, that's a little bit harder to remove that temptation. But a lot of times, if you start seeing a guy clearly not going in the direction you want it to, is clearly not the type of man that is going to want to commit to you or be with you in the long run, then you got to remove that temptation at all possible costs. Set a goal to find that commitment you really want and achieve that goal. And if any guy gets in your way of achieving that goal, then you got to move on. And if a guy isn't showing the interest in you or giving you enough of what you really want, then you really do have to move on. And that's what the Casual to Committed blueprint is designed to protect your heart from that pain. So it keeps you from beating, keeps you from getting your heart beaten over and over and over again from the wrong guy, and then keeps that heart open for the right guy. And that's exactly what I do. I hold you accountable and share the signs that he's never going to commit to you. And the last thing that you ever want while you're dating and meeting people is what I call black heart syndrome. And that means your heart has been punched so many times over and over and again that it is actually turned black and cold and it's like dead. It's like turned into dust. You don't want black heart syndrome, so you got to protect your heart. Now, that's the P in POWER. The O is actually the other side of the spectrum. The O is for open your heart for the right guys. And this is really the counterweight to the first point, right? I don't want you to be that person who's going around sheltering their heart from all harm. I want you to shelter your heart from guys who are not necessarily going to give you what it is you need. And then when you find guys who are going to give you what it is you need, then you need to have the courage to, of course, open your heart up to those guys. A lot of women are just absolutely terrified, and men, of course, but this video is for women. A lot of women are just terrified of sharing their feelings with a guy because they immediately think that it's just going to scare him away. He's going to get terrified and never talk to you again. Well, maybe it's happened to you in the past where you finally mustered up that courage to just share everything with him, and it just completely blew up in your face. Or, you might be scared to trust a guy because the last guy they opened up to was a total dickhead who cheated on you. Or you just don't know how to communicate what it is that you really want in a relationship. I know these things are challenging, but these are the things that really push you to do as part of the Casual to Committed Blueprint. I remember I had a client, her name is Andrea, and she was going out on a lot of dates with one guy. I mean, the guy was clearly showing a lot of interest, taking him out, investing his emotional resources, his financial resources, his time in her, and it was going very well. But interestingly enough, he would just disappear out of nowhere for like a week on end, like almost 8 days. And she would get no texts, no phone calls, no nothing. And she was completely ready to bail. I mean, we got on the phone together. She said, Adam, I'm done. This guy's clearly not into me. I need to get out of this. But I told her, listen, Andrea, you can't do that right now. You've got to be open with your heart. Honesty is key to dating and relationships. You got to be honest. You got to be authentic. So basically what I had her do was the next time she was with him, I had her open her heart to him. And she said something along the lines of, listen, I wanted to talk to you about something that's been on my mind lately. I really enjoy spending time with you, but you kind of seem to disappear during the week completely. And I'm just curious if there's any reason why. And you're probably wondering what his response was, but it blew my mind. And that is, the dude is an undercover police officer, okay? He's like on a special operation, confirmed, okay? And he was being a little sketchy about his career as well, but there's a reason why. It's because he can't go around telling everyone that he's a freaking undercover cop. And of course, because she didn't run and hide, because she was open and asked him about what was going on, and he was honest with her, they're now engaged, right? If she hadn't had that one piece of information, that one direction to open up her heart to that guy and open up to that situation, then you know what? Who knows? She would have moved on to someone else. Open and honesty is absolutely critical at critical times in a relationship. Of course, being open and honest about how you feel about him and honest about what it is that you really want in a relationship. And that's what the Casual to Committed Blueprint is all about. So far we've got protect your heart from the wrong guys, open your heart to the right guys, and then the W is for knowing your worth. Here's what I promise I am not going to do right now. I'm not going to do what every other dating coach out there does, which is say like, oh my God, you are so freaking awesome. Nothing is ever your fault. It's all men's fault, blah, 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 blah. That's not how I work, okay? You need to be a worthwhile person. You need to bring a lot of value to the table. But a lot of times also, women don't, and men, of course, people don't appreciate their own worth and what they really bring to a relationship. So it's really important for you to, of course, understand that worth. And if you're not bringing a lot of value and worth to the relationship, you need to work on yourself. You need to work on those things in your life that are going to bring a man and a relationship a lot of happiness. Because I'll tell you what, the only way that a man will be willing to commit to you is if being with you is a more positive experience than being single. That's it. The only way a man is going to commit to you and stay with you is if being with you is more positive than being single. And that basically means you need to be worth it. And if you are worth it, then you need to appreciate your worth. You need to know that you're worth it and you're worth his time and his energy and his emotion and his commitment. Because high value women attract high value men. And you need to be high value. You need to know that you're high value. And a lot of women focus their energy trying to get something from men, trying to always get, such as commitment, such as love and affection, without even thinking about also giving value at the same time. And the easiest way to get value from a guy is, of course, to give value in the relationship. So at this part of the Casual Committed Blueprint, this is where I really dig deep. I guide you forward to being the type of wifey material that really any guy would want, and how to always add value to his life by, of course, doing things that boost your own self-worth. We work on things like your self-esteem and your self-worth and making you that type of woman that any guy would, of course, want to be with. That type of woman that a guy just wants to be friends with, as well as, of course, romantic with. And as you probably know if you follow my stuff, I always talk about the best type of relationship is the best friend that you want to have sex with. So that is what this is all about. And it all starts with you working on your own life, setting goals for the things that you want in your life, surrounding yourself with great fucking people, and removing those toxic people from your life. talking to yourself, the conversation you have is the most important conversation you'll ever have in your life. Talking to yourself the way that you'd want a loving husband to talk to you. I mean, how much happiness do you bring to the table? And if it's removed, how sad he'll be. Like really thinking about that as much as possible and bringing as much to the table as you can possibly bring. That's what worth is all about, and that's the type of stuff that I really dig deep on with the Casual to Committed Blueprint. So far we got protect, open, worth. The E in power is for earn it. Make him earn your worth. I was at a bachelor party recently, actually it was a couple months ago, and I'm not like it was in Vegas, of course, and I'm not really a big gambler, but at this time I went out and I said, screw it, I'm gonna spend $50, it's gonna be my entertainment, and if I lose it, I lose it. If I win something, that'd be cool as well. Doesn't really matter. So I sit down at the table, blackjack. I know how to play blackjack, pretty simple game. Pretty much listen to what the dealer tells me to do. But I sat down, put down my $50, started playing. And before you know it, my $50 turns into $200, then to $400. Before you know it, my $50 turns into $500. And I was like blown away. But by this point, I'm a little tipsy. I've had a few drinks. They give you free drinks if you're willing to play the tables. So you know what? At this point, I take my money off of blackjack and I even decide to sit down at roulette. And I see that there's a roulette table. That's where you put the little ball in and you either bet red or black or obviously a number on the table. I put all my $500 on red. And I said, you know what? If I win this, I'm gonna double my money. If I lose it, then obviously that's it. I lose all my money. I ended up turning $500 into $1,000, okay? $50 to $1,000. Done. I have $1,000 in cash. And that's a lot of money, to you and to me. It's great. So you might be wondering, Adam, what did you do with that money? Well, that night I went out, bought 2 bottles for the entire bachelor party, and blew it within about 30 to 40 minutes. Literally, $1,000 just gone. Okay? And that was because, of course, I started with $50 and I made all this money really, really quickly for doing something that I didn't really earn. I didn't really earn it. I just put down money and just got lucky. Now, the same applies to your dating life, right? You could be worth $1,000. You could be worth $10,000. I'm not talking about prostitution. I'm talking about, this is an analogy, okay? You could be worth $1 million. But if a guy didn't have to invest his time and energy to win you over and win over your affection, he's gonna blow it, right? We all know that if I had to work at McDonald's to earn that $1,000, then that money would have been put into my bank account, right? I would have been very cautious about where I put that $1,000. But because I earned it so quickly and so easily, then I just took it for granted and I blew it within like 20 minutes and I was like, okay, well that's done, on to the next part of my life, right? Same thing goes with dating and relationships. In order for a man to commit to a woman, he must invest himself in her first. He needs to make that investment. And you need to position yourself for that investment. From now on, and I talk about this in the Casual to Committed program a lot, you're that $1 million lady, right? Not the $1 million baby, $1 million lady. And you need to be that person that he makes that upfront investment. The more upfront investment that he makes in you, the more likely he is to protect and fight for that investment. He needs to earn your love. Your love is not given. And if he doesn't earn it, if he doesn't work towards it, then next, on to the next one, right? And a lot of you have heard me say that before, the powerful 4-letter word. Next, on to the next one. And in Casual to Committed, I teach you how to make him earn it without playing any of those games. And of course, there's a lot with having sex and where sex plays into the relationship and when to have sex. And I talk about all that stuff in the program. The final word in power, word in power, we got protect, open, worth, earn, finally, rational, being rational about your dating life. So let me ask you a question. Do you allow emotions to kind of dictate your love life? Of course you do, right? We all do, because love is an emotion, right? The thing is, when you're attracted to someone though, you have millions of neurotransmitters that are flooding the brain and making you kind of crazy. And what's crazy is that you actually you as a woman might actually feel the emotion stronger than us men. It's scientifically true. Women typically have a larger limbic system than men. And that's kind of the part of the brain that really controls basic emotions like fear, pain, and pleasure. And sometimes when it comes to relationships, it's really important to be able to step outside of yourself, step outside of your emotions, and take that kind of rational approach as well. I've discovered, having been a dating coach for so long, being able to take a very objective look at someone else's dating life is some of the most powerful things that I can do as a coach, because I'm not emotionally connected. I'm not emotionally involved in that. I can actually very easily step outside because I don't know the person that she's dating, so I can very quickly be able to say, nope, this is what's happening. Boom, it's over. And that's the type of thing that I try to coach a lot of my clients with, is keeping that rational side as well. And I found a lot of women, and men of course, sometimes we create our own heartbreak through wrong expectations. What I want you to do moving forward is starting to lead with what I call rational emotion, okay? I want you to feel, I want you to be romantic, and I want you to enjoy that flood of, neurotransmitters and dopamine and serotonin and norepinephrine, all that stuff that floods your brain when you fall in love. But at the same time, I need you to fight to allow that rational side of your brain to also kick in. That rational side is so critical. And in my experience of coaching both men and women, men are generally a little bit more pragmatic than women when it comes to relationships. I mean, it's just true. That might piss you off a little bit, but it's true. I've seen it time and time again. Men, a lot of times, will take a much more logical approach. So what I need you to do is start balancing, your rational emotion a little bit. And here's the thing. When it comes to emotion, if you lead with too much emotion and lead with your heart on your sleeve, you fall in love before even meeting him, and just through texting or online dating, or you move in with that without really even knowing him, or move in with him with only knowing him for like a month, then you are absolutely bound to get hurt, right? You cannot just lead with emotion. Whereas on the flip side, you can't also just lead with your rational brain. If you lead with too much logic or the rational side of your brain, then you're going to be looking at things like, okay, what does he look like on paper, right? He has a great resume. Oh, he went to Harvard. He went to, whatever. He's done this. He has a great 401k. Oh, he also likes to hike. I like to hike as well, right? If you only lead with your rational side of your brain, then you are bound to have just a really boring life. And I think a lot of dating coaches go too far on trying to force you to just only focus on your rational side. So again, in Casual to Committed, what I help you with and what I want you to start focusing on right now as we're going through this launch for the full-blown program, want you to be really thinking about your rational emotion and really treating every relationship from the very, very beginning, being able to lead with that rational emotion. So to sum it all up, remember we talked about the power system. The power system is, the P is for protect, the O is for being open, the W is for knowing your worth, the E is for making them earn it, and the R is being rational. Now that you understand the basics of the Casual to Committed blueprint, you can actually start implementing this stuff immediately into your life. What I ask you to do is go to casualtocommitted.com if you're not there already, and when you're there, you can be able to download this free sheet right there below, and it's going to walk you through that blueprint. I want you to print it out, stick it on your fridge. Well, actually, if you have a guy coming over, you probably don't want him seeing that. Stick it on your nightstand, do whatever you need to do, save it on your phone, keep it right there in front of you so you always are reminded of the power that you really have in a relationship. All right, now I've given you the powers that you need, and I want to ask you, which one are you going to focus on first? Now, if you're not sure which one you want to focus on, I believe that the most important part of all of this is understanding your worth in a relationship. I want to ask you, what do you really bring to a relationship? What is your worth? What do you really bring? Comment right there below. You can add that comment, join in on the community, okay? And make sure you like this video and maybe share it with a friend who needs to see it. Now, this whole video is all part of my upcoming launch for the Casual to Committed Blueprint program, where I walk you through these strategies and really how to implement them into your life. So as part of this launch, you'll get access to these very special bonuses as well. So if you're interested in learning more and getting on that early birds list, which will get you early access to the Casual to Committed Blueprint, plus the 5 bonuses I'm going to be throwing in for this program, make sure you jump on the early birds list right there below. You'll see it right there below if it's still open. Of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you go to casualtocommitted.com to be able to get access to all these videos and the downloads. I got to tell you, this stuff is going to be it's not going to be available for very long. It's got very limited availability, especially with the bonuses that I'm throwing in with the program. So make sure you get on that list, go over to casualtocommitted.com, get all that stuff you need. You'll see it all there, right there below. Now in the next video that I'm going to be sharing with you, I'm going to share with you the 5 types of men that you'll date, and trust me, you're going to want to avoid 3 of them. So I'll be releasing that video in the next few days. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's helped you, and I can't wait to hear all the results you're going to be getting. So make sure you leave that comment right there below. Speak to you soon.